everybody, it's Miss Megan. Thank you for joining me with another online edition of Tiny Tots. Today's theme is just magical creatures because the theme this summer is Imagine Your Story. So it's always fun to include a couple fairy tale creatures that are a little less unknown, like in our first book. Make sure that you're still logging your beads and getting your dragon stickers. This first book is called Julia's House for Lost Creatures, and it's by Ben Hatke, and it is published by First Second Books. On the first cover page, you can see that her house is actually on the back of a big turtle. Julia's house came to town. See, she put down her mailbox and settled by the sea. That evening, there was a warm fire and toast and tea, and all the house was quiet. Too quiet. So, Julia ran to her workshop, and she got out her tools and her paints and went to work. She made a sign. And it says, Julia's House for Lost Creatures. She hung up the sign outside the front door. And then she waited, and she didn't have to wait for long. She heard a scritch, scritch, scratch at the front door. The sign worked. It's a patched up kitty came to stay, and it was nice to have a friend, even if he wasn't like other kitties. You can see he's walking up the wall. Before long, there was another knock at the door, and it went boom, boom, boom. So she and Patched Up Kitty go to the door. It was a very sad troll. The city had torn down his bridge and asked if he could please stay. So, just until he got back on his feet. You see how big he is? Julia had just settled the troll into her best chair when there was another knock. There were also scrapes, scratches, whines, bangs, barks, and bellows. Do you see all of the magical creatures who have come to stay? There's gnomes and mermaids, and she's got a rubber ducky that looks like a sea creature or a dragon. There's so many. Soon, Julia's house was filling up with lost and homeless creatures of every description. They asked for towels, and soap, and tea, and toast. They had ideas of their own. They spilled things, and they didn't clean up. And then the troll found Julia's old record player. Stop! Shouted Julia. Everybody stop! The creatures stopped what they were doing and stood shuffling their guilty feet. Julia ran into her workshop and closed the door. She stayed in there for a long time. When she finally came out, Julia had a new sign. Now everyone had a job. And it says Julia's House Chore Chart. So she gave all of the different animals and creatures a chore. The dragon made toast, and the mermaid washed up the dishes. The Folletti tended the fire, the goblins mopped up, and the ghost was in charge of dusting. And the troll picked out the music. You see him right there with the record player? At last, there was a warm fire and tea and toast for everyone, and the house was quiet again, except whoosh, drip, 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 creak. So things need some repairs. So Julia got out of bed and made one more sign, and she put it up outside the door. And then she waited. Do you see over there? Tap, tap, tap. And she didn't have to wait for long. The sign she wrote was, Help Wanted, Repairs, Odd Jobs, and Plumbing. So do you see the big robot with lots of little robots there to help? So they're there to help the home repairs. The end. You can see everybody's all happy together. And that's the end of Julia's House for Lost Creatures. Thanks for reading with me. I love seeing all those different types of creatures. Now this one, in our second story, is just one creature. It is a fairy. It's called A Fairy Friend, written by Sue Fleiss, illustrated by Claire Keane. And it is published by Christy Ottaviano Books. I just thought the illustrations were so pretty in this book. Lots of different fairies. There are fairies in the sky, all around you fairies fly. Flit and flutter, tumble, twirl. When the wind blows, fairies swirl. They skip through flowers, zip through trees, hum and buzz among the bees. Friendly fairies soar the skies, ride on the backs of dragonflies. Do you see them in the window on the dragonflies? That'd be kind of cool. The little girl's reading a book about fairies. Wings of fairies shimmer, spark, twinkle, and glimmer in the dark. Shiny spots or wisps of light could be fairies in your sight. You see, they're teasing her. They're hiding from her. If you want a fairy friend, one who'll be there till the end, you must know just where to look. Search in every niche and crook. You want one to come to you? Here's what you'll need to do. You see her in her tire swing? She's got a butterfly net and a backpack and a puppy to help her. So this is what she's going to do. Build a house of twigs and blooms. Decorate her fairy rooms. Walls of blossoms, cotton floor, a sparrow feather for her door. So she's building a fairy house. Mossy rooftop, pebble path, mushroom cap to take her bath, thistle fluff for fairy's bed, willow fuzz to rest her head. So you can see she started to build things for the house, a bed and a bathtub. Make for her a fairy swing, tie a nutshell to a string. Cook a flower petal stew, serve it and she'll come to you. You see all the fairies watching her? Very slowly tiptoe near, quiet or she'll disappear. Do you see them in the fairy house? She can see them. Gently offer out your hand, name your fairy and she'll land. While she's resting in your palm, whisper softly, keep her calm. She will teach you how to fly, sail with you through the forest sky. Do you see they're all on an adventure and that poor puppy is up in the sky too. Shower you with fairy charm, keep you safe from hurt or harm. She's about to fall in the puddle. Forever friends you two will be, fairy kin and fancy free. Such a pretty picture. She will know that you believe, still all fairies have to leave. Do not trap her, let her be, lift her up and set her free. See, they all have little suitcases. It must be time for them to go. Time might pass while she's away, but do not let your heart dismay, for if you're thoughtful, kind, and true, your fairy will return to you. You can see they're all back in the middle of winter. She decorated it with twinkly lights. And that's the end of A Fairy Friend. Have you been by the library to see our fairy house? You can take a look the next time you're here to pick up your beads or dragon stickers for our summer reading program. So make sure that you're logging your time or your titles, and we'll see you soon. Bye.